Welcome to Nomadergarage. Thanks for tuning in. This episode, we're going to do some light body work and we're going to work on the vent windows, reconstructing those. Here we go. Before we get to the action, I'd like to give a shout out to Mrs. Baker's 4th grade class. I subbed there last week. Those kids are awesome. Gives you hope for our future. I'd like to start out by fixing a few small dents. There's one right here. And then there's one up here on top of the hood. About there. There's one over here in the door that's gonna be a little harder to see. It's a little depression right in there. A couple of more areas. This needs to be tapped down right in here. That little crease. One more here. It's a little bit high. And then over on this door. On this door, there's a dent that needs to come out. That one came out pretty good. It took a little extra metal with it. So I'll go back and weld that hole up. This is today's instructional part of the video. Today we're working on the hood, and this is what I want to focus on. There's a big splotch of body filler here, all the way out. You can see the line, I outlined it here. And it was cracking, so I heated it up, took a putty knife, scraped it all off. And as I was feeling over it, it was really only one little spot that was depressed. Not sad, depressed. So I hammered and dollied that out and then filled it in with a little bit of glazing here, icing. And I guess the point is that with a little bit of hammer and dolly work, you don't have to put in this great big splotch of body filler and smooth it out. And just a little bit of patience with that, you get a little smaller spot of filler, and that will help not crack if it's not this huge humongous piece of body filler. I've been looking for a rear seat for this Bronco for quite a while. And I've seen them around a couple states away for around $400, $500, $600. And this one became available about 10 miles away, and I got it for $120. So thanks for that sale. I'll have to recover it, but it's in decent shape. And that was a good deal. Next, we need to fix this window frame. Got the repaired frame bolted back in. It's got 3 bolts here and 2 up here in the front. So that frame is removable on a 66 to 68 Bronco. Now 69 to 77, they were fully welded in, or they're plug welded in, and I can show you what that looks like. So this door must have come off a later model. You can see that there's spot welds here for that frame coming down. This looks like it's been re-welded here. And up here, it's been welded, and then it's been welded in here. So if a guy wanted to, I suppose you could remove that weld there, drill these out, tap them, put bolts in there if you wanted to be able to remove this frame. So why would you want to do that? I think it looks cooler if you got the top off to have this thing not on there. But I don't think this top's coming off again. It snowed last night. All right, so here we go. We're gonna redo these vent windows, and the vent windows are really cool. There's a lot of little parts. I can see why they did away with them from an assembly standpoint. I can't imagine that. There's just a lot of little parts. So we're gonna go through this step by step. I got it broken down. I disconnected them, unscrewing that from here. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this with this. To do that, I'm going to knock out those two little studs down at the bottom. Just grind those off. This will come right out. I'll put this one in. Need to replace it because you need this stud to put the little handle on. We'll get to that. So we'll do that first. What are you trying to get? You trying to get this? All right, now what are you gonna do? Next, we're gonna throw this piece in. And you know which way it goes in the channel because it's notched right here, and also there's a dip right here. All right, tools supplied for some of these other little rivets. It doesn't fit down in this channel here. So what I'm going to try to do is use this bolt, the bolt head, to smack this rivet down. We'll see if that works. You could easily just use a rivet gun too. Then you get your bestie out here to hold it in place. Thanks, pal. You ready? Mm-hmm. Are you sure? Okay. First one actually worked out pretty good, so we're gonna go for the second one. 2 for 2. Okay, so we're on a roll. We got that installed. Now we're gonna put this piece in. That's gonna slip right through there. So I ended up pop riveting these in place. Had a little mishap with the other ones, but that'll work. Now it's a delicate operation. We're gonna put this little handle on, and this funky looking washer goes on first, followed by the handle. You can push that down, and then this pin needs to fit in that little hole. That can be a little dicey. What I did on the other side was I used a needle nose pliers to hold that in place, where I gently tap that into the hole, and it seemed to work fine. To get the other one out, I did modify this nail and just file down the edge so it's flat, and was able to tap it through, tap the old one through this hole. See, it just slid right through there. It really does, if I was holding that down. But I'm one-handed right now, so that fit perfect, about the same diameter as that pin, and that's how I got the old one out. There you can see I got it started, and now I just need to tap it all the way through. There it is. It's all tapped in. Remember, there's sometimes you use brute force on a car. This isn't one of them. Just lightly tap it in. Next, we're gonna remove this window channel from the window frame. And I started by just taking a screwdriver, tapping it through there, get it going, and then should be able to just lift this thing out. When we get that out, we're gonna replace all this furry stuff in here. It's also important to mark where the end of your chrome here matches the window channel, so you can get it back in the right spot. I scraped out all the old stuff, I don't even know what you call it, and I'm going to replace it with this. This is mohair liner. I got this from Classic Industries, and I'm going to glue this in there. Don't know if it's right, but it works. I got the old weather strip adhesive from 3M, and I'm going to put a couple of 3 lines along here.
No smiley face.
No smiley faces. I didn't even think of it, you know? Smiley face might make things happier. So I'll spread it out. Then I'm gonna take this, try to center it best as I can. Got this tool here.
Many uses.
Yeah, this is like, you know, high tech. Jam this down here. We're really trying to work that corner on both sides. Got the furry stuff in the channel replaced. Before I put this back in the frame, I want to replace this rubber piece here with this one. And we use these little brass studs. We gotta knock those out. See, they're right along there. I got this rubber part installed here. Now I need to put this gasket in around the frame. And to do that, I use liquid dish soap and put it on this rubber. It makes it real slippery, a lot easier to get it into the channel. This is the last part of assembly before we try to put it back in in the Bronco. So this reaches behind, attach it with the 2 screws here, and then down here where the post comes through, we're going to put this washer on first. Followed by a couple little nylon washers. Then this washer. Followed by the spring. And then a nut. I'm using a nylon nut here. You can use a regular nut and a flat washer. So that's what it looks like. In the case of both of my windows, this stuff was gone. It was rusted out in here, and some of these pieces were missing. So that's what it looks like. And I used LMC Truck. They had a guide out there, a picture of it. I'll post it. I'll put it up here so you can see what the order is. And that's it. So getting ready to install it, and then put the glass in. I usually put the glass in later because then I can avoid any kind of catastrophe, but I also have to weld that, and I got to get some welding gas tomorrow, so we'll weld that up before we install it. All right, I'm going to attempt to install this glass here. Got to tape down, cut the corners. So I got the window in. I'm going to remove the tape, trim this back a little bit. 1/16 inch tape, that was a little too wide, so I used this other tape. It's about half as thin, and it slid right in, but it's snug. All right, I've got it all cleaned up, all the tape removed, trimmed back. From the inside, remember this is the spot that we cut out and replaced. And it's ready to go. Just got to take this out when we get ready to paint it. So we're just test fitting everything right now. Thanks everyone for watching this episode of Nomadergarage. In the next episode, we're going to change out the wheels. And we're going to recover that little seat that we scored off of Facebook Marketplace. We'll see you then.